How's it going, everybody? And welcome to another episode of Slashback Saturday. This is the series created by Joe, the HORRORman, where every Saturday we review a different slasher film with a different theme. And this week's theme is slasher films based in or filmed in our area. And today I have one that is both. It is filmed in New Mexico and it is based in New Mexico. Based in Los Lunas, but it was actually filmed. You can tell a lot of the filming was done around the Rio Rancho and Bernalillo area, because I recognize a lot of the stuff there and a lot of the exits and things like that. Directed by Mark Bavia, this is a 2016 film called Fender Bender. It stars Billy Sage as the driver, also that's the name of the killer, and it stars Mackenzie Vega as our main character, Hillary. Now, our story is that 17-year-old Hillary gets into a fender bender with a kind of a creepy guy. Well, this creepy guy just happens to use the information he gets from her to stalk her and start wreaking havoc and trying to kill her and her friends. Overall, I gotta say, I really, really liked this movie. I watched it on Shudder, which was recommended to me, and the movie was recommended to me by Jen and Christian from Jen's Reviews from the Grave. Thank you very much, Jen, for recommending this movie. Christian, thank you very much for recommending this as well, and for recommending Shudder. I think I'm going to enjoy that. Now, I'm just going to set the stage just a little bit. I gave you the synopsis, but I'm going to set the stage just a little bit. Hillary gets into the wreck, and yes, there will be spoilers in this review. Hillary gets into the fender bender with some guy. Later on during the day, her parents have punished her and grounded her while they go off on a trip. She gets a text from this person from a 303 number, which is Colorado, for those of you that don't know. But the information the guy gave her was all New Mexico. She gets a text from this person, and he's saying things like, sorry about today, hope you're okay, blah, 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 blah. And then he says something like, well, it's really good that your parents had that extra car to take that trip with. And she's like, what did that mean? How did you know? Blah, 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 blah. And he's like, well, you must have told me, because how else would I know? And she kind of forgets about it. She goes off, she takes a shower or whatever. When she comes back to get her phone, the pictures of the accident are all replaced, and they're replaced with pictures of her in the shower. He's already been in the house, or at least somebody's been in the house. She's freaked out. She's going around the baseball bat trying to find whoever's in the house. And all of a sudden, two of her friends surprise her with pizza and, fun. And she's freaking out, and she almost hits them with a baseball bat. They start having a good time and start chilling out. And then her ex-boyfriend, who is kind of part of the story a little bit earlier, shows up and he's drunk off his ass, and she chases him off, basically threatens to kick his ass and chases him off, which I think is funny. And it brings me to a pro, but we're going to get all those in a minute, okay? I want to give you this quick little rundown, then we'll get to pros and cons. After she gets rid of her boyfriend, he gets killed by the killer. The killer starts stalking them in the house, so on and so forth. And we have our movie. Alright guys, so let's get into pros and cons. And I'm going to start with the cons because I only have two. First con is that I don't like that they show the killer's face so early. It doesn't really take away from the film, but it just kind of belays some of the mystery. Because in this movie, the killer wears an awesome looking mask, and it's really cool. But because we've seen his face already, we know what's under the mask, so it kind of takes away from that just a tiny bit. It's really not that huge of a con, it's just a small nitpicky thing. My second con is that Hillary, in the third act, she is kicking this guy's ass. She is kicking the driver's ass all over the place. She has a tire iron, she's beating the crap out of him, she sets him on fire, and she's really coming up strong, coming up big, right? She reaches into his pocket to get a cell phone, which you're waiting for the jump. You're waiting for him to reach out and grab her. She turns around and leaves him there, leaves him for dead, walks back in the house, and then starts dialing 911. Then she looks out the window and the guy's gone. Well, of course he's fucking gone. Worst horror cliche ever. Don't leave the killer after you've beaten the crap out of him. Stand right on top of him and make the phone call, so if he moves, you can beat the crap out of him again. You know, that's it. That's all the cons I got, guys. I really enjoyed this movie. It was a lot of fun. Good movie, good pacing. Just a really cool concept and a really good killer. I really enjoyed this movie a lot. And I like that it was filmed here in New Mexico. It's cool to see a movie in the area you're from or the area you live in so you can see all the cool stuff. And I get lucky with that because there's a lot of movies filmed here. But it was cool to see this one, this slasher film, because I've never seen a slasher film based here in New Mexico. And that was really awesome to me. So, pro number one, this movie is creepy. The killer is creepy, the vibe and the atmosphere is creepy, and I just loved the whole part of it. I loved all of it. From the intro, we have an early intro victim and all that with the killer and everything about it is just creepy. They really set that good creepy tone. I mentioned this in the cons. I love the look of the killer. I love his mask. It's very industrial S&M kind of thing going on. Looks like something the guys from Slipknot would wear, you know? And I really enjoyed it. I thought it was really cool. I really enjoyed the pictures on the cell phone thing. I thought that was a really cool, creepy thing to do. And they also did that in the movie Hush, the Netflix original, which I really liked as well. And eventually I'm going to get around to reviewing that as well because I really enjoy that movie. But I like that. I like that she's in the shower and then she comes back to get her phone and finds all the accident pictures erased and pictures of herself in the shower on the phone. You know, I thought that was a really creepy way to utilize a cell phone. The problem with a lot of modern horror films is because the advent of the cell phone makes a lot of the stuff kind of sometimes a little unbelievable. It's like, okay, everybody's got a cell phone now. We can just pick up and call the cops or whatever right away. You know, call for help, whatever. But they really worked around that in this movie, and they really worked it to its advantage. He destroys cell phones, all that stuff, you know. Her cell phone, you can see how he utilized it to terrorize her even more, and I really like that. The next pro is that Hillary is a tough, badass chick. She's 17. She's scared. She is a young girl. She's upset in a lot of the movie for another reason, which basically it's a boyfriend broke up with her. Not really broke up with her. She broke up with him because he was cheating on her. But she is a badass, man, and she gets this courage. There's this character arc with this character in the beginning of the film. At the very beginning of the film, she's here. Okay, she's right here. And she's crying and she's upset about her boyfriend. And she's telling her friend on the phone, I can't confront him. You could, but I couldn't. Well, the boyfriend comes to the door and sees her and comes to the car door and she tells him off, so she goes to about here. You know? Later on, she has the issue with her parents and you see the fluctuation there, and that brings her character arc up a little more. But then you get her alone and then she starts hunting the person she thinks is in the house, and that brings her here. Then when her boyfriend shows up and she threatens to kick his ass, that brings her here. Then when the killer really starts getting going, she steps up. She really steps up, and that brings her here. And then towards the end of the film, she is just kicking his ass, and that brings her all the way full arc. Now, I'm not going to give every single part of the movie away. There are a couple things I'm going to save for you, just because I want people to watch this movie. I want you to check it out for yourself. I'm not going to give everything away. So, I really love that she is such a badass. I love that she's a cool character, and I love that she just doesn't take it lying down. My next pro is I love the killer's weapon. The killer is called the Driver, and he has two basic weapons in this movie. One is his car, which he uses quite well, and the other is this weird-looking tool, and it kind of looks like a cement lathe, or whatever it's called. I can't remember. You know the thing that you smooth cement out with? I can't remember what it's called right now. A trowel. Sorry, I know what it is, but I couldn't remember. And then it has like a blade that pops up out of it. So it's kind of like this carrying case handle with, you know, like a flat edge surface and then a blade that sticks out of it. And I thought that was a really cool original looking tool. A really cool original looking weapon. Final pro that I want to talk about, because there are a couple more pros, but I can't talk about them without giving away the complete movie. And I don't want to give away the complete movie. I want to save some things for your imagination and some things for you to watch the film. There is a point in the movie where Hillary has beaten him down pretty good. And she's trying to use the lighter in his car to set him on fire. And she's waiting for it. She's like, come on, come on, come on, come on. And he's getting up. And she goes like this and she leans her head back. And then she looks up and she sees tons of driver's licenses from all these different women from Colorado, New Mexico, Arizona. What this killer does is every time he kills somebody, he takes their information and he gives that to the next victim as his information. He scratches out the girl's name and puts a guy's name that's similar. Like the first girl's name was Stephanie, he put Steve. You know, the next girl that he killed, I guess, her name was Jennifer and he puts Justin or something like that. Jonathan, I can't remember which. But he's got his collection of licenses above on the roof of his car. And you see how many victims he's killed, and it's a lot. And you were just like, holy shit, this guy's been busy. And I really liked that reveal. I liked that this wasn't just his first time out. It showed that he'd been doing this for a while, and it also gave potential that maybe we could get a sequel. Maybe. Like I said, guys, overall, I really enjoyed this movie. If you don't have Shudder, check it out. It's $4.99 a month, or I think like $38 or $39 or $49 a year. One of the two. There's two different options you can do. I'm doing the $4.99 a month just so I can check it out for a little bit. And then maybe if I decide I like it enough, I'll do the whole year thing. So far, the first movie I've watched on it, I'm really happy with. Thank you once again, Jen and Christian, for turning me on to this film. I'm very happy with it. I'm very glad you turned me on to it. And I'm going to be looking to buy this film and add it to my DVD collection. Well, guys, it has been another Slashback Saturday, and I cannot wait for next week. I'm going to leave you the way Fender Bender left me. Your life is meaningless, but your death will be legendary. This is BroncoJuggalo saying, peace.
I am what I am and that's all that I am. I am what I am, I'm a hooligan. I am what I am and that's all that I am. I am what I am, I'm a hooligan. I am what I am and that's all that I am.